Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Math 11, and I know I already did a video on equations of a perpendicular bisector as a preview, but now that we actually have some homework, and homework's the main thing that we must be concerned with, right? So we're going to do some actual problems now. So I already have number 1 on the screen for you. It reads, write an equation of the line that is the perpendicular bisector of the line segment having endpoints 3, -1, and 3, 5. Graph the segment and its perpendicular bisector. Okay, well, we know the 3 steps that we have to do, right? 1, gotta find the midpoint, always, and then second, we have to find the slope, and then its perpendicular slope. They kind of go hand in hand. And third, we plug it into the point slope equation, and we're done. So it's these 3 steps that you need to know. So the first is we need to find our midpoint, and the midpoint formula is just x1 plus x2 over 2 comma y1 plus y2 over 2. This is all a review. If you need a refresher on the midpoint formula, here is a video link that will be right here. I'm going to draw it out for you. Bam, right there. Midpoint and distance formula, right there. So let's do this. So we have 3 plus 3 over 2, comma -1 plus 5 over 2. Okay, let's simplify this some more. We've got 6 over 2, and that's 4 over 2. And this is 3, this is 2. So our answer is going to be 3, comma 2. And this, right here, that is our midpoint. Okay, so step 1 is done. So we should give that a green check. And second, we need to find the slope, and we can just use these 2 points to find our slope. It's not too big of a deal, so this was all step 1, but now we're going to do step 2. So what is slope? Well, it's y2 minus y1, or I like to use y1 minus y2. It's kind of confusing. I don't know why they put the 2 in front of the 1, but let's do that right now. So let's go -1 minus 5, just the difference of the y values, and then the difference of the x values. So what does this simplify to? This is -6 over 0. And we know that we can't have anything over 0, so what do we know about the slope? There is no slope, or it's undefined. But that's okay. We don't really need to concern ourselves with that, because the next thing we do is we find the perpendicular of that slope. And what do we know about slopes that are the perpendicular to a slope with no slope? So this might be a possible no slope graph. So what's just the perpendicular of that? It's 0 slope, right? It's not no slope, but it's 0 slope. So that's something you might need to know. Okay, so we do know that the perpendicular slope is 0. So this was step 2. Let me erase some of this, and I'll erase that link too. Make some real estate here. Oh, I shouldn't erase that actually. Alright, you know what to do anyways. So actually, what was our midpoint here? 3, 2. So we know 2 things right now before I do that. We know that our midpoint is 3, comma 2, and our perpendicular slope is 0. And let's not erase that checklist that we have going on there. And now what we have to do is we have to plug into point slope. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus the x coordinate. So and we use the midpoint on this. nothing else, because we want to find the equation for the midpoint because it's a bisector, right? So y minus 2 equals 0 times x minus 3. If you know that your slope is 3, does it really matter what you put here? No, because we know that 0 times anything is 0. So y minus 2 is 0, y equals 2 because add 2 on both sides. And we now conclude that y equals 2 is going to be our equation. So what does that look like? In case you were wondering. So if this was y and this was x, and we counted up 2 here, then our solution would look like this. That is our line of the perpendicular bisector. 2 and 3, -1 and 3, 5. So 1, 2, 3, -1, 3, 4, 5 here and here. This is the segment that we're dealing with, and this is the bisector of that. So we know that this is equal to that. They're congruent. And if you want, you can do the distance formula to prove that, but we don't need to prove that. So let's move on to the next one. So now I'm just giving you 2 endpoints, and I want you to find the perpendicular bisector of these endpoints. I'm not going to type it all up because it takes time, and I don't have a lot of time on my hands. So let's get right to it. Let's find the midpoint. And by the way, there are 5 questions on this homework sheet, but I'm only going to do the first 3 questions for you because I don't believe that I should go over all of the homework. I should just give you a start, and then hopefully you'll find the rest easy because you watched this video. So finding the midpoint really quick, that will be -4/2, 10/2. If you do your math here, plug it in. Your midpoint will be -2, 5. That is your midpoint. Now let's find the slope in a dashing new color. So that is y1 minus y2 over x1 over x2, 4 of 12, -1 over -3 is going to be our regular slope of that actual line segment. Okay, so I finally got my tablet working again. I don't know what happened. So where were we? Yes, the regular slope of that line segment was -1/3. So we take the negative reciprocal of that, so we negate it, and then we reciprocate it. And the perpendicular slope is going to be 3. So our lowercase m that we're dealing with is 3. Now that we have our midpoint right here and our slope, we have a point and a slope, let's plug it in. Y minus 5 equals 3 times x plus 2, right? Because it's -2 and we're negative, so it's a plus. And we can leave it like this, but you could probably already tell that our point here is going to be -2, 5. So if we do some math, we can hopefully make this a bit more clear. Although you can simply graph this even though it is not in slope-intercept form. Y equals 3x plus 11. And that is going to be our answer. Y equals 3x plus 11. Answer to number 2. Okay, one more. It tells us that the endpoints are 0, 6 and 4, -2. Kind of want you to pause this video and do this problem on your own, and I will explain this after you finish pausing. But if you are a lazy person and you want me to just go through it, or you're just going to skip to the answer because you're really lazy, I don't recommend you just skip, but go ahead. So let's find the midpoint. That's going to be 2. Negative 2 is the capital M. Find the slope. 6 minus negative 2 over 0 minus 4. That's 8 over negative 4. So our slope, our regular slope is negative 2, but our perpendicular slope will be positive 1/2. Now that we have our perpendicular slope and our midpoint, we can plug it into our midpoint, our point slope formula, x minus 2, and then we can do some solving here. Minus 1, y equals 1/2 x minus 3. So that is going to be our equation, and you can graph it if you want. So that is how you go about things. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, sorry, in the last question, the y-intercept is not negative 3. Going over it, it's actually negative 1. See if you can see what I did wrong. Sorry about the confusion. Hope you guys liked it. Bye.